Historically, there was a lot of woody debris, large trees that would fall into the rivers and provide some structure and provide some diversity of habitats and help the river establish a more meandering, dynamic form.
So that ideal aquatic habitat for trout is this mixture of riffles and pools, and that you have some wood in the stream that provides shade, and it's this complexity in a stream that makes for the best aquatic habitat. When it's just a cleaned out channel and it's nothing but rock and riffles, there isn't really a place for fish to rest, to eat. They're constantly fighting the current.
Wood also helps slow down rivers and acts as a filter in floods, keeping outside sediment from filling in the riverbed and changing its course. Clear-cut logging in the early 1900s removed wood from the rivers and eliminated mature forests from riverbanks. Without wood to fall into the water, White Mountain streams became quicker, straighter, shallower, and more prone to erosion. The forest we have in the White Mountains today is young. As it ages, it will naturally contribute wood back into the area's rivers and streams, and these waterways may begin to resemble their previous form. But seeding rivers manually with large wood would hasten the process.
I believe that that's the key in this, is to increase access to the floodplains, slow the water down, and using large wood and natural methods to do that works really well, as opposed to hardening stream banks. The goal is to let the stream get back to a point where it's functioning the way that it wants to restore itself.
In some areas, Tropical Storm Irene took care of this seeding herself.
Storms such as Irene, they caused a lot of devastation to infrastructure, but by eroding out those steep slopes, they brought a lot of wood into these rivers. That wood will create habitat for the native brook trout. And when that storm came across the entire White Mountain National Forest, it was creating these new habitat features at very large landscape scales, something we could never do with our small habitat scale efforts in the past.
This is a good example of where we're letting nature take its course. You can see behind me the slumping bank that we're basically going to leave that. Over time, the edge will erode, the trees will fall down. A little bit downstream, we have some trees that are about to fall into the brook. And ultimately, the bank will reach a stable slope over time. We can let the brook return to the condition that it was before a lot of heavy logging happened in the 1800s.